it. Up Atlanta's, I was able to handle it most of the time. I stayed in my room, I made videos, I learned how to do stuff on the internet. Stuff that Lana and Amanda didn't know how to do, I researched, because they didn't really know how to do anything. They kept interrupting me when I was in the middle of stuff. They're like, Sean, you can have your own room. Here's a bunch of toys for autism. They yelled at me for playing video games, and I didn't really get to play the video games. Their internet sucked too much to play them. So I tried to download games that I didn't have to use the internet to do that. I used up all of Amanda's phone time. I didn't have any money, you know? People don't understand this. I just need a place of my own. But all my money is going to the courts for the things they did to me, and I need to show what it is that's been going on, and no officer would take a look at it. Meanwhile, they pretend I'm the predator. Like, all of this shit that I've been dealing with since Natalie died, it's the same shit I had to deal with before she died. I wanted to die so she could feel safe. How she took it was the worst way she could have taken it. And the things that they said weren't what my intentions were. They assumed my intentions, and people just wouldn't leave me alone. In court, they used other people's assumptions, and those people, that wasn't their assumptions. They knew exactly what the fuck I was doing. That Karen Miles lady, she knew I wasn't trying to suicide by cop. I was trying to get an outside agency to take a look, and I told them that. I told the Secret Service that. They should have been recording every bit of that. I didn't even have the ability to take screenshots a year ago while they were fucking assaulting me. If I'd have been able to take screenshots, I could have shown Natalie. I shouldn't have had to do those extreme things. People who told me they loved me showed me they didn't. They ignore me because they got their own fucking problems, yet their problems aren't shit compared to this. Meanwhile, I get treated like I'm the bad guy. Like, holy fuck. Andrew molesting his fucking daughter and Amy on fucking cocaine. Like, holy fuck. No wonder they couldn't keep their goddamn word. My dad treated me like shit up there in Washington State. Like, the closest I had to a safe environment was Lana and Amanda's. They didn't understand that those video games are my autism toys. They didn't understand that I needed to be able to open my Facebook without evidence being destroyed. I needed to be able to defend myself, and they wouldn't understand. Lana kept snapping at me. She was nice the first day. Why is it okay for women to be so fucking psycho when they're rejected? Then they wanted to gang up on me and throw in my face a bunch of shit that they weren't even there for. And I lost that phone and I needed help getting it. They still keep sending me stuff about that number. My computer down there at the police station in Broomfield, Adams County. I need to get that back. It's got evidence too. I made those videos because I couldn't get the cops to help. I couldn't get Natalie to help. I couldn't get Alicia to help. I couldn't get Maddie to help. Jeff Ritter ended up just being words. These people aren't understanding that the fists that come at my face are real fists. And these people all said they understood panic attacks, and they all threw me away for having them. All of these people who said that they'd help, they didn't want to understand why it is that their help isn't fucking help. And I got to worry about other people, you know? Like at Candace's, I had to worry about her kids, so I had to wait till they went to bed. I needed that internet access during the day so I could pump out all the shit that I needed. My words don't connect right when I'm having a panic attack, and it gets worse and worse because I don't have a safe place, and I keep running around wasting my resources to go from one abusive environment to another, and people don't understand that just because you're not abusing me doesn't mean it's not abusive. And then with Shannon, I had to watch my P's and Q's and walk on eggshells there because I didn't want her turning that on me. People don't understand why it is I need somebody to go in with me. I'm different. I'm easy to victimize. I don't want to be. I moved to Ken and Leah's so I could be closer to my friends, closer to people I could laugh with, closer to people I could make jokes with, closer to people who were good to me. I want my life to end because people who have panic attacks and have family there, they don't even register in their fucking head that that family helps to increase the dopamine drip in their brain. I don't need to chemically induce this shit. I'm a naturally happy fucking person. But I get overwhelmed, and then when I get overwhelmed, people are mean. When I'm yelling, it's because I'm overwhelmed and I need somebody to listen, and saying things nicely just gets me ignored and told pretty words. Please stop making the same suggestions over and over again. I'm doing the best that I can with what little I have, and people keep treating me like I'm some sort of piece of shit because I don't do everything that they want with what limited resources I fucking have. Because I can't do the things that I need to with the limited resources I fucking have. A little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Meanwhile, they keep doing more and more, and they have all sorts of fucking help and all sorts of funding to try to fucking punish me for having panic attacks. And they think that drugs are gonna fucking fix it. No, that's not how it is. Like with Big J, yeah, he needs meds. He does. He's got everything I need, and he still has panic attacks. I don't have panic attacks when I'm in a positive environment. I don't. But I don't get to be in a positive environment with those positive people until I get this shit taken care of. I mean, I had to depend on Lana and Amanda for shit's sake. I need to subpoena people, but I can't get a lawyer to fucking do their goddamn job. And all that time locked in jail, that's time where evidence is getting lost, and there's a statute of limitations on all of this shit. There's a period of time where I can get this shit, where I can get a court order to get this shit. They just keep locking me up. Like I'm not suicidal for no goddamn reason. They did everything they could to prevent me from going to court. And you know what? We could have squashed all of this if Natalie had talked to me on my birthday like we had planned. I could have explained to her my whole safety network's gone. I was suicidal too when I went to Virginia. But I was hoping Maddie might be able to go because she's pretty fun, you know? She likes to do fun things. And Moose too, like that guy is a fucking riot, you know? I don't get to see them. That Rom feller just came by and waved at me. I hold my phone so it doesn't take pictures of people's faces.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Sean. You're too far away.
I said I hold my phone so it doesn't take pictures of people's faces.
Okay. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Rom. They didn't understand panic attacks. They didn't understand how their not wanting to tell the truth would do so much damage.
Who's that?
A lot of people at this point. Everybody's afraid of the consequences of being honest. Meanwhile, in the courtroom, they say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Meanwhile, they won't allow the whole truth.
Mm-hmm. Is this around the death of your friend?
It's everything that happened before and after. I mean, I need a place where I can be allowed to be an adult. I mean, I keep getting treated like a child all of these stipulations in all of these places. You can't have your phone, you can't have your computer, you have to go to the library. I need a place where I can make phone calls. I need a place where I don't have to pack up my stuff and move it, or I don't have to hurry up and wait for somebody else. I mean, I do really good for myself when I'm in a positive environment. I had a place in Chapel, Nebraska where I could have done this stuff, but when they locked me up, they made it so I couldn't. I mean, I needed help with that because I'm too easy to victimize. And then they treat me like I'm crazy because of the abuse. I tried telling the police what was happening in Chapel, Nebraska, and they didn't care. I tried telling the cops in Boulder what was happening, and they didn't care. And I got a phone that didn't work, okay? That was my birthday present in 2016. In 2015, my birthday present was to get my back hurt because I had to move out of my shop, and I worked hard for that shop. If I need to work on it at midnight, I have panic attacks because I'm not able to work on this stuff. People keep trying to tell me that I need meds. You know what? Medications won't make it so I can see my friends and family. I need to go through all of this evidence, and most of it's online. I need to be able to make phone calls, and it's sensitive subject matter. I mean, you know, it started off with people accusing me of stalking somebody who... She told me if I wasn't already on the way, she was going to kill herself, and 6 hours later, she ran her car into a tree, and I went. I did. I kept my word, and I went to see her like she wanted me to. Her family didn't like me because of my age. Like, I used to save lives, sir. That's what I did. I've tried to get a place for people that get overwhelmed like me because we're victimized so easily. A place where people didn't get treated like children and have to jump through all these hoops to get treated like, oh my God. There's a reason I'm suicidal. I know what's going on. I can already tell in this situation whether it's going to go positive or negative, and I try to stay on the bright side and tell myself it'll be all right, but it isn't. I'm right too much.
Well, and when you have kind of lived the life you live, people don't like to oftentimes may not give you a chance. I understand that piece. Because you are easily victimized. Do you have any friends?
I do, but I can't see them because the Boulder police and the rumors that Natalie and Alicia started, they didn't want their mom to think bad of them. And I understand that. I stood up to my parents. I did, because my parents couldn't stay off the drugs. I stood up to them. Somebody has to. When I was in high school, my mom, I worked for my dad when I was in Washington State, and I only got to live with him for 6 months. He used to like to drink rum and coke, and the deal was I had to do at least 2 hours of working on learning how to build porno web pages before I could do my homework. And then I also had to pay rent so that I could learn responsibility. So I worked for a guy who used to be a lawyer, and he had bees in the middle of Tacoma. And the only thing that really helped out with my dad being such an asshole is there was a nursery down there, and the nursery is gone. They replaced it with apartment buildings. But I got an F in PE, and my dad beat me up like 2 or 3 times over it, and I finally ran away. And the cops told me I could either go to juvenile hall or I could go back to my dad's. After growing up in the system and getting beaten up all the time for being white, It sucked. And I don't use the N-word, but so many of them kids that beat me up, they got away with it for saying that I used the N-word, and I didn't. They just hated me because I was white.
Mm-hmm. And different.
No, mostly because I was white.
Yeah, well, white means different for that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it's understandable to me. I mean, the judge is white, the prosecutor's white, their public pretender's white, the arresting officer's white. I mean, everybody was white in the system back then. That was the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were starting to integrate black people into the police force and stuff like that. But I mean, mostly there wasn't. And my dad, he promised me I could go down to Nebraska and live with my mom as long as I cut my hair off, so I did. When I went to Virginia, it was because Natalie called me. I was at Aunt B's, and she called me up, and she told me that she really needed me there. People were being mean. They kept on accusing her of being on drugs, and it just made her want to do drugs more. It wasn't the first time she said that.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me about her predators. Oh my God, they did such fucked up shit to her. She cut on herself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in the system, so I understand this shit firsthand. I understand it so much better than people who look up from the outside and say, oh, well, she's mentally ill. No, she went through some severe fucking trauma, and I knew it.
And that was how she relieved her pressure and her stress.
Yeah. People who cut themselves, they cut themselves for two reasons. The shallow cutters, they cut themselves because nobody will listen. And the deep cutters, they cut themselves because it makes them feel better.
Mm-hmm.
It releases endorphins when they cut that deep.
Yep. And for some, that's how they don't commit suicide. So people don't tend to understand that.
She couldn't kill herself, and I couldn't kill myself. I mean, she needed me so bad. Her family was putting her under so much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. My family does the same thing. My dad is such a jackass.
And because of your trauma, you are somebody who appreciates others and tries to rescue them from their trauma, is what I bet.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. I mean, I had the ability to do it too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. You need somebody who understands, otherwise they do more damage.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. It takes someone who knows trauma to fix it. And people say, you can't fix people because you're damaged too. And I'm like, no, that's
not true.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I was able to help because I understood, and she was able to help me because she understood. And then her family, they had their own opinions of me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing she could do to make them stop.
Yeah.
They hated me because of my age. They didn't understand what it is I did for a living. I saved people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie didn't know that saying I stalked them. I don't even know that Natalie said it. I just know somebody in that household did.
Yeah.
Probably her mom.
So, Sean, all this has passed, and you've been cleared of charges.
No, I haven't been, sir. You're not understanding that.
Okay. I thought you said that you had been cleared of charges. Help me understand.
They found the guy that killed her, but the thing is that her family have done everything in their power to destroy my life. I haven't had a safe place to go. The police assaulted me. I was assaulted in a mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I was assaulted in regular hospitals because I was trying to turn in the police.
Mm-hmm.
I needed them to understand I needed a safe environment. But because Natalie was killed, see, that's the thing, is that I have all of the evidence out in the vehicle, and I have it on USB drives, and it's just so much, and I have to move from place to place trying to find a safe environment where I have a room of my own and internet, and I can actually work on this stuff, and they keep taking it away from me because I'm suicidal, and I'm only suicidal because of the hell I'm getting put through.
I hear that. That's why I'm not even using that word. Because that's a reaction for you. That's not what you want to do.
I do want to die. I do want my life to be over because the things I need to defend myself, I'm not going to get. I mean, they allowed slander in the courtroom. They didn't even bother to check it. None of the public pretenders would do their goddamn jobs, so I end up doing their jobs, but I can't do that from inside of the jail, and I had to break the law in order to try to force someone to take a look. When I'd call the police, they'd fucking brush me off. When I went in person, they'd brush me off. They didn't care that I was being threatened and assaulted, and it got to the point where I needed outside help and I couldn't get it. I lost my place because people took advantage of me. They wanted my money, and after they got all of my money, Ken and Leah did some really fucked up shit. So all of the people who punished me, all of the people who took advantage of me, all of the people who intentionally sent me into a panic attack, they all got away with it, and they all get to play victim. They slandered my name in the news. I couldn't go to court. Natalie got a protection order from me 2 weeks before she was shot in the head, and she got that protection order because I threatened to expose her dad, and then I did. I exposed her dad on his own Facebook with an email she sent in 2016. And she said that she wanted to meet up, and I'm always right. I predicted it was a small chance that it was going to be some jackasses to harass me. A little bit better chance that it might be Natalie, and an even bigger chance it was probably the cops. And I had wanted to meet at the cop shop, and she didn't want to. She wanted to meet at Starbucks. I went to Starbucks, and she wasn't there, but the cops were. They gave me a protection order. I didn't have the money to even go. My therapist, Jeff Ritter, was supposed to help me get a lawyer through the Colorado Coalition of the Homeless. I'd been trying to get help from him doing that for like 2 months by that point. Whoever it was that said that I stalked them, they lied. And then on that protection order, all the stuff that she was claiming I did, it was stuff they'd asked me to do. And I needed an honest day in court to face my accusers, but I didn't know how to take screenshots. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff on my phone. If I'd have been able to show her the threats that I was going through, and that was just on the internet. People were hitting me in real life over it. I need people to stop treating me like I'm a child, like I'll do bad things if I'm allowed to sit down and have internet in my own room and not an abusive environment. And I don't get that, you know? Like, people wanted to put me up in hotel rooms after Natalie disappeared, and it's just 2 days here, 3 days there. They don't understand that I'm having a panic attack because there's way more work to be done than that. And that money, instead of spending fucking $600 on 3 days in a fucking hotel room, that $600 could get me a place where I could fucking sit down and actually do that stuff. But the Boulder police, I've been speaking out against them for years. The detectives in Natalie's case, people are mad at me because I have panic attacks and I scream, but I scream because when I explain it nicely, people just, they don't listen, they don't get it, they don't understand that I don't have a place to work on all of this. But when I do, it's hurry up and wait, and hurry up and wait, and people don't understand. I can't just carry all this stuff. And I can't just make phone calls where it's gonna affect people, especially if it's a trigger warning, and it is, especially at that place out there. Like, as soon as I walked in there and I saw the women's side and heard some of them speak, I was like, oh my god, I can't talk about any of this here.
So let me come back to, do you have any friends, siblings, anybody that you can kind of park with to get this done?
No, that's the problem. I don't have anyone. They're all in Colorado. They're all too broke.
Nobody let you couch surf?
No, that's the problem. I don't need a couch surf. I need a place where I can sit down and take care of the work that I needed to take care of. I mean, they pretended like I was the bad guy. They threatened my life for over 2 years. Over 2 years, and the police wouldn't take a look. And I finally threatened them back. I threatened to take Alicia and her mom to court, and I threatened to kill the people who threatened to kill me and my friends and family, and I had to. I need for them to understand how fucked up a situation I've been in. They didn't fucking like it, but they got to take it to court, and I didn't. I didn't even get an officer to fucking listen to me. They just pretended like I was schizophrenic everywhere I went. I have evidence that this shit happened, but they're calling me mentally ill and pretending it didn't happen. I need a place where I can type out the story, and there's just so much to it. And then I have to put down the little numbers to go along with the little evidence, and I don't even have the time to organize the evidence. I'm too busy having a panic attack, and people don't understand why I'm having it to begin with.
And the only place I had didn't work for you.
Exactly. Like if I could get put up in a hotel room for a couple of weeks, I could work on all of that at my leisure. I could make the phone calls that I need to make. I could talk to the people that I need to talk to. They set up a GoFundMe to help me with that, and then the lady who set up the GoFundMe, she was threatened by the cops and by her landlord with having her and her daughters thrown out in the snow. After a fucked up pocket dial from one of Natalie's stepmothers, and it turns out they've been fucking with my head all along. Cops didn't give a shit. They refused to take a look. They kept putting me on fucking suicide watch. I'm like, you guys are taking all of my fucking shit. You're making it worse.
And that's why I'm not doing that, because I hear you say that. I'm trying to respect what you're saying to me.
I'm not blaming you. I'm sorry about my
that.
tone.
I'm telling you why I'm not trying to hospitalize you. I clearly hear you saying that makes things worse. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm trying very hard to listen, Sean. And I'm gauging my actions based off what I'm hearing. So I'm not just doing things to you.
I need a place with internet access where I have my own room and won't be messed with. I'll have to make phone calls where I'll have to talk about sensitive shit. I can't do that in Starbucks. I can't do that in McDonald's. I gotta take screenshots of all my paperwork, and like this morning I just fucked up my back so much just having to carry all that shit into Starbucks and back out. And I could see it through the window, so I knew it wasn't getting stolen. But if I do that at the library, I gotta worry about my computers getting stolen or somebody taking the room while I got my stuff in there. And then at night, what do? You know, what happens if I have a panic attack? I have my panic attacks over not being able to do this stuff, over not having a place. When I was at Shannon's, she wasn't abusive to me. There was a couple of times where she was close, but that's because people who are alcoholics, if you even hint that they're alcoholics, they fucking flip shit.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I needed to be able to make a police report against Ken and Leah for the things that they did.
drawing at straws. So I'm going to ask a few things.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to understand, all I'm doing is drawing at straws. You have worked with the homeless. Would you give any consideration to going like to the Denver Rescue Mission?
I can't. I have warrants in Colorado.
Okay.
I don't need a rescue mission. I need a room
I understand.
of my own. That's literally what I need.
Okay. I'm just thinking of a place where you could also feel meaningful in terms of helping other people.
I don't need to feel meaningful in terms of helping other people. I need to help myself right now, which means that I need to get all of this stuff organized and get my story written, and I don't get to because I'm constantly going from place to place to place to place.
Mm-hmm. And the place I had isn't going to work for you, so I don't have anything really else to offer you outside of homeless. That's why I'm trying to draw straws of anything else that could possibly work.
I need a room for 2 weeks.
I don't have a room.
I know. Who would?
I would say your best chance is go talk to Camille at the homeless shelter and see if they know of somebody. Because they do have some stuff that they can do. They have more options on that than I do. Have you been to Camille or talked to Camille?
I've been to it before. It's a homeless shelter. They don't have individual rooms.
They do for people that have been there for a little while. You have to kind of earn your way up there.
That's the problem, is that I'm busy having a panic attack because I can't earn my way up there. I have to be able to have a stable environment.
I hear you saying what you need, and I fully understand that. I just don't have it, John.
See, if they hadn't done what they did, I'd be able to get that for myself. And then they pretend like I wanted it, needed it, chose, or deserved it. All of my money went to jumping back and forth between all of their hoops.
Yeah. Do you have SSDI or any income?
No. I had disability, but it got taken away because I was in jail for so long, and they tortured me in the jail, and people treat me like I'm fucking schizophrenic for it. No, they tortured the fuck out of me for trying to turn in officers.
Now that you're out, you should be able to get that back.
I need an address, and I need a place where I can work on that. I need a caseworker who can help me with that, and I have to wait on Liv for a whole week before they're willing to do anything, and they said a week at the earliest.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go down to our office at 2526 Seymour, do an intake, get that completed, and we can get you a case manager.
Didn't I already do
No, we did an emergency thing yesterday.
Will a case manager be able to get me a room?
I doubt that we have that kind of money.
See, that's the problem. They took all of my money
Mm-hmm.
for things that they did to me, and then they painted me as a bad guy. They sent me into a panic attack. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. They let the predators get away, and then they put me in a position where I couldn't take care of myself. Sir, I've been through 2 years of this. We don't have the funding. They got plenty of fucking funding. They got plenty of funding to lock up homeless people and to frame them and to assault them and pretend like they were the ones who were assaulted. I call one place and they send me to another place, to send me to another place, to send me to another place.
Mhm.
I had an idea for a castle. I designed it after a Roman marching fort. A place for people like me, and I was trying to earn the money. I went to my friend Miss Peaches, and we were going to work on making a GoFundMe, and Jeff Ritter was supposed to help me get a lawyer, and Miss Peaches was going to help me with that stuff. And an hour before we were going to do it, because we were going to cook dinner and then we were going to get started on it, I got that phone call that Natalie had disappeared. Like every time that I think that something decent is going to happen, it doesn't. Somebody else's decisions destroy my life, and then they say, "You chose it." No, I didn't choose for Natalie to die. I didn't choose for them to spread rumors. I chose to do the right thing. I chose, you know, for her to hold her suicide over my head like that. Like, yeah, I went to Virginia because she held that over my head like that. And they pretend I'm predatory. I'm not. I'm overwhelmed and I'm having to deal with predators who get to pretend like I'm the bad guy. They threatened me for over 2 years. They threatened my life over shit I didn't do. And I have all of the evidence. I just need to organize it and write the story of what happened.
But that's why you have attorneys.
No, I don't. That's the point, is that I get public pretenders who won't do their jobs. I don't have the money for an attorney. That's what people in houses always say. They don't understand that when you're homeless, you don't get rights like that. You don't get a public pretender who's going to do their job. They're more interested in sending you into a panic attack, telling you they can't do their job. So I have to do their job for them, and you're not understanding that. My public pretenders were as deep into protecting the Colorado fucking blue line of bullshit as anyone else. And then I get overwhelmed, and then they fucking threaten to have court without me. Like, why won't you take a look at the fucking evidence? I took it with me everywhere. And everybody refused to take a look at it. And now it's fucking 2 years of threats and harassment. Assisted suicide should be legal, sir.